Ventura's condo crisis. How can people afford to be first-time home buyers or get into this market in Southern California if the average condo or the entry-level condo is $500,000? What that means is even if the property is 400 or 425, with the HOA being 250 to 350, you're going to pay on average about what it's going to be cost, about $500,000. Even modular homes that sell for $250,000, oftentimes those are in parks where the land lease fee is $2,000. So excuse me a moment. So what we're talking about is entry levels just to get into the California coast. Condos, 500, 600, 650, 750, 750, the magic number. So although we're in a crisis because there's a shortage of inventory, particularly in the 805 and particularly in the city of Ventura County, there are a lot of condos out there. There's not a ton for sale right now. It's making up about 25 to 30% of the sales, but there are these margins, there's these barriers to entry, but if you can get into that sweet spot, it could be a really good idea for you. Particularly like that 7 to 750, and here's why. The cheapest homes you're gonna find, the fixers out there, whether it's East Side, West Side, Oxnard, around 700,000. Now those 700,000 single family homes usually require a minimum of 150 to 2 or 250,000 in repair and renovation to get them up to what we like to call a nice livable standard, or with some modern amenities. Ask me how I know. I've remodeled about 15 to 20 homes. Some I've been involved with as a principal. Some I helped clients prepare for sale. And once you get into them, when they say opening up a can of worms, yeah. Why do they call it worms? Because it's a worm of plumbing, electrical, termite damage, things like that. Once you start to open up the drywall and peel back the curtain, and you're in the thick doing anyway, it makes so much sense, so you tend to spend a little bit more. So not to get into a video about fixers and flips or anything like that, let's get back to condos. I just wanted to set a context that if you're qualified for 7 or 750, what's really great about that is that you can get a high quality condo or townhome for $700,000 and $750,000. Now I know there's HOA fees, but the thing is that if they're covering yard maintenance, a lot of times water, sewer, and trash, you don't have a lot of extra expense coming out of your pocket or coming out of your manual labor to take care of things. It's very much live the life you want, live Sotheby's, very much that lifestyle, which a lot of people are looking for. So when locals here are looking to purchase and get into the market, it's not a bad start to start out at 425. It's not a bad start to start out at 550. The key is to get in and start paying down that amortization schedule, because when you're paying down the amortization schedule, you're building equity. And since you're in the market, not on the sidelines and not paying rent, as we start to see these appreciation waves come through, you'll be a beneficiary of that. So your payments, as you go through maybe 5, 6, or 7 years, you start to get to that amortization schedule, but you also have the appreciation behind you. So when you go to sell, repurchase, and take a step, you're gonna have more equity to work with, better loan conditions, and you actually start moving up into those single family homes, maybe the fixer, maybe a little bit better than that. We're starting to see the semi-luxury around the 1.2 to 1.5 range. So it's all about stepping stones. It's all about getting into home ownership, and that's the key. So although it's a thinner inventory, and although there's some struggles and the price point seems high, it's not so bad because there are a lot of options. And let's face it, between $425,000 and $750,000, you can get dramatically different style home. So working with a client now who's out in Port Hueneme, whose home is probably worth between $525,000 and $550,000. So she may not be able to qualify with the interest rates where they are right now for the $750,000 home, but she will qualify for the $600,000 to $650,000 home, and you can get dramatically better environment, different neighborhood, better conditions, more amenities by taking a step up. Now, moving does take energy, and I think that's the hardest part for people most of the time is, doing the trash out, doing the home improvements, getting everything scaled to be able to do the move and actually move your physical things. So what I recommend for people to do all the time is a spring and fall clean. Always be going through your things, getting rid of things, selling things. One of the best things you can do is to sell on Facebook Marketplace. Like, let's say you have a home repair and you don't want to pay for it. You probably have so much stuff sitting in your house that you don't use. You didn't even know you had 2, 3, or 4, or 5 of them. Get them together, sell those things. It's a service I offer. I've done this for so many of my clients. We can help with a trash out to declutter, help sell things, and get started with preparing, whether you're selling or not, just for your own comfort, and get to the position. And if you do that every year, every couple of years, what happens is you're keeping up on your home maintenance, you're being aware of anything that before it turns into a can of worms, you can get a handle on it, and you're taking care of your asset, and that's the step of home ownership. It isn't just buying the house and then you're done. There's 3 stages of real estate that I think are so important people underestimate because they think it's all sales, it's all purchasing. But of course, it's the acquisition, it's the purchase, when you're able to purchase the home. And then people underestimate holding the home, whether you're an investor or you're a homeowner. If you're a homeowner, you've got maintenance and you want to take care of that home. You want to make sure that all the windows are sealed. You want to make sure that your roof is sealed. And if you're not going to do a re-roof or a re-window, is to go around and give it maintenance. Either have yourself or hire a handyman that can go around and caulk the windows and be sure that you're not adding damage to the interior wood or the interior other aspects of the home, such as like the insulation, so you don't want to, and then it can get to the drywall. So you don't want that can of worms where you have all these interiors where when you go into it, there's a bunch of things to do. If you take care of the asset, it's going to take care of you. So when we talk about this as being a condo crisis, it's a tough barrier of entry. That's true. But at the same time, if you have 3, 5, 10, 20% down and you qualify and you can afford that payment, with taxes, insurance, and the HOA, it's going to change your life. Sometimes it's moving down, but you want to be in the asset. So whether you're going to live in that property for a little while and then maybe have it as a rental and then move up, it's a good idea to start the game. It's never a bad idea to buy real estate when you can afford it. Moments like now, for instance, there's so much doom and gloom in the market, which is real. The government is shut down right now, and we're not getting data from the Fed to be able to make a decision about whether they're going to lower these interest rates or not. So that's one factor. So the worse the data is, the biggest the interest rate drop goes, the bigger the interest rate drop goes, the better it is as a purchaser. So although there can be domino effects from having a bad economy, in this instance, it's not likely to hurt real estate. It's likely to help it level off, which is what we're seeing happen in 2025. And if you've watched my other videos, I believe we're going to see this leveling off at 2026. Now, if we see a big dramatic shift and it's going to go one way or the other, of course, I'll be the first on here to say so. But we're watching it, and what the big thing that we're seeing drop, but we saw in Camarillo, Ventura, and Oxnard, is that the inventory levels are actually going down. We have a listing where I've got some clients that have want to hang on to that high price, and you know what? With inventory going down, I got to hand it to them. It was there yesterday. It's not there right now. But if inventory continues to decline and we have hungry buyers wanting this premium property, they're going to come up in price, especially if the interest rates drop and especially if the inventory goes down. So those 2 factors are the biggest factors: inventory and interest rate. Those are going to show us where the market's moving. And the biggest thing, the most important thing, is to identify what type of property you want, where you want to live, and at any price point, we can find one that makes you happy. Because let's face it, we're in Ventura County, one of the last small Southern California beach towns, and it's just gorgeous out here. Beautiful people. Of course, we've got, some issues here and there, but at the end of the day, good job market, good schools, good people. We're starting to get a food scene. The surf is fabulous. I love the surf and all the things to do. So whether you're local or coming from near or far or from another coastal community, reach out if you ever have any questions. We'd love to help you out. Thanks so much. Take care.